Hi everyone, Duke Brumley, Sober AF Entertainment. I got my great friend here, Thomas Hernandez. Tomas is with Tribe Recovery Homes. Tomas is this amazing story of start at nothing, stop for nothing. Recovery brothers, we are. Not quite Eskimo brothers, but recovery brothers. And I love what Tomas is doing, and he is doing so much all over Denver. And I want to give him the mic and kind of tell us what's going on with Tribe Recovery Homes and all the different services they offer. But I want to start off, Tomas. What do people not know about Tribe Recovery Homes, or what are you kind of most proud of that you're doing?
Well, Tribe Recovery Homes is truly a peer-to-peer thing all the way up through the staff. Everybody's got lived experience through the career, just like how me and your relationship is. We're not only professionals, but we're in recovery, all the way to the person that has a master's degree in our organization has lived experience. The organization is 90% predominantly built for people that have lived in Tribe. I remember the first days when we first started Tribe was, the basic thing is you had to come in with a working resume. If I knew you could work and you had the desire to be in recovery, and you can go ahead and do that, it was a handshake, man. It
Two
was
things, yeah.
yeah,
Be
yeah.
well.
It was a handshake in recovery. We made a thing called a Kiva room in this apartment that we had. We had four guys, about $600, and we had this guy that pretty unsavory guy that had an apartment building, and we went from one apartment all the way up to 15 apartments and redesigned it. Took it from 1.7 to 3.2 million in worth. 27 guys just living together, and really just working on recovery. Took one apartment and kind of made it look like a sober sports bar. That's why I'm really excited about how everybody has recovery cafes, Bar Zero, all these cool little things like that, because it really worked. We just slapped TVs on the walls and did meetings and stuff like that. And now today we got a female program that's really launching with DOC, and DOC partner with corrections. What's cool about our DOC program is there's not a subsidiary fee to come in. You don't have to worry about that $27 a day, because when you have that big starts, that's game on.
Right.
You got a guy or gal that hasn't had a job since Easy had his first record. What I mean? It's like, all right, now I'm going to start having to pay $27 a day. And it's gonna be a big list of measures I got to do. I got to just go out there and try to find me a job. There's really no resources, no navigators, none of that to get me out there. No, it's not like that. So we got blessed with wages, with Latino Coalition, Caring for Denver. We work deep with 18th District, 2nd District. Denver's been cold with us, helping us out.
Well, they get it. They see how different you are and how impactful you are to this community that needs, not just one more layer of support, but more layers of support, because we know how awkward sobriety can be, and, to be able to kind of help them with not just, sponsorship or mentorship, but with so many other services.
Yeah, man. So, there's a couple philosophies with us. We have that start for nothing, stop for nothing. Yes. We're hardworking men and women in recovery. Yes. But it's like this, you got court cases. We take everything. We take people traditionally where you come from detox treatment centers, a third party vendor. We vet you from the streets. If you have nothing, the family just calls off the internet. Yes, it's fine. You know what I mean? We do the traditional recovery home model, but we also work heavily with judicial because, let's just face it. Let's face the facts. If you're drinking a lot, you're doing drugs a lot, you're going to end up with a court case, whether it's going to be minor or major. And when you get that mindset, it's like, why try? Man, I'm gonna go to jail anyway, so I'm just gonna stay loaded until I go to jail. And also, bro, and the mindset with Tribe is like, nah, let's get ahead of this, because there's another way of doing it, and dope, and a lot of people that people don't understand, and that are active in addiction, and families that really don't know about drugs. There's some family members out there that me and you work with that don't even know what the drug looks like. never even seen it in person in their
Right.
life. You know what I mean? So they don't know the mindset of what their kids are going through, their loved ones are going through with this whole situation. And there's a lot of telling and snitching and getting themselves put in messed up situations. And no, really, what the recipe is what I learned in myself, what I learned from the crowd hanging around with you, Duke, and Ben and Wesley and Scott and the list goes on. Kevin and everybody that it's the whole thing is this. If you get that integrity and that honesty and accountability in the recovery program behind you, you start working a job, you start showing up, you know what I mean, and handling your responsibilities head on action, 10 toes down, man, boots laced, let's go. Like Tribe is there's no pause, there's no breaks.
Right.
It's live.
I love that because right now Rome is burning. Like during my sobriety, the overdose rate's done that.
Mm-hmm.
And and I just love kind of the life that you and I have to live. I mean, I have been forced to grow up. I screwed up with my daughter earlier and I overbooked something on her birthday, and I was telling you about this, and now I gotta just shut up and take it, right? I can't deflect. I
That was
can't make
holy water for you.
I am in so much trouble. And so I can do two things, right? I can not talk about it and try to deflect it back on them, or I can just own it and don't say because and talk about it with you. So when I do have that confrontation with her, then it doesn't blow up. And then I get to kind of, make mistakes, clean them up and go forward and kind of live comfortable enough in my own skin to stay sober. And I mean, I've been very privileged in my sobriety. That is not the case with everyone. I'm pretty privileged with my upbringing and kind of the lack of trauma that I've had in my life. Not that I haven't had any. I just have learned to respect people for where they're at. And Tomas, you have got a community of people who really have had the rug pulled out from under them, and you are just kind of building this amazing base for them. And it's not that it's just kind of great to see how this thing has totally taken off at speed. Um, and we're all scratching our heads like, holy cow, Tomas pulled it off, and he's still in like rocket launch mode, taking off.
Yeah. The idea is, I mean, my past was more than just dope, but it got me there. A lot of confusion. I'm a co-occurring guy. PTSD. ADHD, depression. Incarceration. All these things. It's been a long road, and I was sitting downtown and I was looking around and I was like, there's got to be something different for us because there were so many gaps of service. And you got this thing, you got recovery and you got judicial, and they live right next to each other, but there's like a wall between it, and they never really meet. I had to become my own case manager on the judicial side. There wasn't people like Lasana Teef, Sean Taylor, and the Way G's partners out there that do great things. There wasn't a lot of people out there like Pam Clifton and JC and all the crew over at CCJRC that were advocating for people in judicial. There wasn't people like Duke Rumley's and Ben Courts and Jordan's from Choice House and all these wonderful people, all these guys, Wendy and everybody that I met through all the years all over the country. You know what I mean? I got to go around and see different modalities and different recovery things. Homeboy Industries, it's cool. That was like one of my dreams. I just wanted to meet Father G. I just wanted to meet him. I sat in a meeting with Danny Trio. Was cool. You know what I mean? I was like, all of a sudden, I didn't even think that I would. You know what I mean? I sat in a meeting with him. And then I started meeting other people in recovery, and it didn't even matter if it was famous or not. But then, sitting like a kid in Jersey, and you're really finding out the true essence of drugs and problems and things, and it's really not economics. Because this little short story blew my head back. I had this kid that I had in Jersey that I was picking up, and I was taking him to another treatment center, and his family had they were wealthy, and I stereotyped him. I thought I was just going to pick up this spoiled kid, and it was going to be this, and that, and come to find out, this was an adopted kid. He was still lost, man. He didn't really connect with his adopted family. He didn't really know who his real family was. He was just out there just getting older. He didn't care, So I told him that story about, he'd always have those smoke and mirrors and smiling for everybody. It's like, yeah, thank you, all that kind of stuff. So I told him that story, that Pagliacci story. You know what I remember? Have you ever heard that Pagliacci story?
Yeah.
Of the guy that shows up in the town, he gets a therapist, and the therapist is like, hey, man, you're depressed. I got these tickets to this show. Why don't you go check it out? He's a great, great, great show. He goes, I get these tickets to Pagliacci. And the guy looks at him and goes, you understand, man? He goes, I'm Pagliacci.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's that whole essence of that kid. And when I was thinking about Tribe, I needed to make it a gaps of service for all. It's not just about the stereotypes of kids of color. It's not just the stereotypes of kids of money. It's not just the stereotypes of kids of anything. It's men, grown women. You know what I mean? It's all of us. We all have different gaps of services. And when we got up to the Capitol with Lacey, we really started seeing stuff, Duke, that we really started seeing these people like Leslie Herron and Candy Cita Baca and Councilwoman Torres and all these great people, and the consortium out there, Rourke out there killing it for us, with Carr and all these things that were happening that really opened up my mind to be like, hey, this is my position. I need to hybrid some stuff, hybrid everything, and come up with something that a community will grow. And now we're over 86 beds.
86 beds. Think of that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you went to the street, got it done, had a vision, said you were willing to do the work, set it up, rubber hitting the road, and people went out of their way to help you, right? And funding and
yeah. And me and Dan Singer, I got to give it up to Dan. We didn't have no funding. We got 10 houses now. We built it up to 8 before we turned it into a nonprofit. Me and Dan were eating off the same plate. I was working for different organizations out there all over. I was working 2 jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me and Dan kept on reinvesting and reinvesting and reinvesting. I was broke as a joke, man. I look fly because that's just the
fly.
I was not. You know what I mean? I had before we got on this call, we were talking about the last time we were at the conference in Colorado Springs, where we were eating leftover steaks and trying to figure out somewhere that we could be warm and smoke a cigar.
We were not part of the cool kids. We were.
We didn't have our own setup.
Right.
We had good friends that let us chill.
We were
ghetto
cheap. We run nonprofits ghetto cheap and make it work.
Exactly. But that's the thing. When I decided to go nonprofit, I was looking at my friend, man. He was, Dan Singer is probably the most loyal, loving, understanding man that I've ever met in my life. He's a man in long-term recovery. He's not even my best friend. He's my brother. He's family. My wife to my mother, to my mother-in-law to my mother, to my father, to my kids, to everybody knows. My dogs love this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? The guy's written into my insurance. If something happens to my, to everybody in my family, I know he could take care of my family. And that's how cold and how deep we go down. But I was looking at him with one of my old cars, running one of the houses, living in the staff house. And I was like, listen, Tomas, you got to make a change. And this is the recovery part. If you're really going to really do this, take that for-profit mindset out of your mind on this house and on this stuff. Go nonprofit. Go after some funding and make this thing real so we can really start helping these people. So I called Larry Wall, and I got that designation by New Year's, and we just took off, man. We got blessed with so much funding from in the last year, and we're still being blessed. And it's, the rubber's hitting the road on a lot of different stuff. We've got a lot of different things that are happening back and forth. Keisha, I'm on an interview.
It's good to be wanted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of family love.
Yeah. And we're still, we're still foundationalizing on a lot of stuff because it's just been a year and some change, and
what kind of person should contact you, and like what's the number one amazing service that you really want people to know about?
Okay, so to get into Tribe, there's different avenues to get into Tribe. The main avenue is get on the website and press apply here, because we got to do a background check with you. Unfortunately, we don't take sex offenders. We have too many. We're getting it. We have women and we have children, and we have the when we say women and children, we're getting women and children housing developed and family connections. So we just can't take that chance. So we do that background check with you. We get that okay from your signature to go ahead and do that. You can always contact us for more information at 720-608-7423. That's 720-60-TRIBE, 720-60-TRIBE. And you can ask a staff member all the questions about financials, everything like that. Also, if you got a loved one or somehow you got this video inside, or a case manager or a parole officer or somebody else or treatment center is wondering, you can go at hello@triberecoveryhomes.com, talk with one of our people standing by, and we can get you the information that we can get on any type of judicial vouchers, our wages program, just an array of different stuff. You can also apply sometimes when they have them because they're really bogged down. We work directly with the Hornbuckle Foundation, so get with Michael and Sarah on their coaching. We don't work with we're pretty exclusive with coaching companies that are out there. They're one of them that we work with out there. Basically, it's Hornbuckle and Connect with Terry Smith that we work with predominantly.
So if you are in need of some resources, sober, and you want to get a job, contact Tomas.
Yeah, that's going to be the new thing. 2021, we're putting together attempt to hire service. So no more that famous, outdated, mauled up printout that you guys see of a packet. We're going out there looking for jobs, and we're going to give you your job. Make it out of 6 months, because sometimes you know how it is. Your job is to find a job. Yeah. And your job is to learn how to work a job. Sometimes everybody in recovery is like, oh, I need $25 an hour. That's what I got to have. And I'm like, man, you worked at 7-Eleven once. How you going to get $25 an hour there, player?
Right.
What are you talking about? Learn how to work first. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's the feat. Because I remember in my recovery, if it wasn't for attempt to hire with my attitude, yeah, man, I had to learn how to work, because I've always been an entrepreneur all my life. I've been on my boss, and when I have another boss, I'm trying to tell the boss how to do his job. It wasn't working out too well.
God has got you in the exact right place, right?
Yeah.
You're the guy who has seen it all, and I'm sure every new guy who tries to pull some type of story on you, you're like, I've heard that 100 times.
Yeah, and it's and I got a great staff. We got a residential, we got a non-residential, we got a thing called RAD that we got in the jails in the Denver jail. Basically, got a lady Rashida Smith and Jesse, and a couple other ladies up in there. All they do is give out hotel vouchers, taxi cabs, food, jackets. As soon as you get that clear bag, you come and see the rad ladies that get you resources right on the streets. You know what I mean? Make sure that you got somewhere to go. Which is we got Cat's killing it all the time. Crystal, Dan J, Darren. Everybody thinks Darren's my brother, my twin. He's got tattoos all over his head and his neck too. List goes on.
Right
Ronnie,
on.
yeah, man. It's we're blessed with people, and we're all lived experience. You know how it is. You try to
Yes.
bullshit a bullshitter. It's like,
Right.
come on, man. I tried that in 1989, and it still ain't gonna work in 2021.
Right. 30 years later, we're in the middle of COVID. So I spot it. All right, buddy. Well, I love you. Thanks for hopping on here. If you think you're out of resources and you want to get sober, I would highly recommend checking out, giving Tomas a call and check out Tribe and see if it's a good fit.
One more thing, Medicaid. We can bill for Medicaid. We got our own Medicaid billing, treatment, and navigation. So
right
got
on.
Medicaid. It doesn't pay for the housing, but it'll pay for your therapies and navigation. Got a great clinical director, Osvaldo Cabral. So come on in. Yeah.
And go Broncos.
Huh?
Go Broncos.
Yeah. Go Raiders. Broncos. Raiders, Broncos, whatever. I'll say Broncos for the thing.
Good for you.
But yeah. Soon next year we got bilingual. So we'll have the first Spanish speaking sober living by this time next year. So
needed. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, buddy.
Love you too.